You were still standing on the road down below?
No. I had was alongside of this trail, the footpath that follows the ridge. And I was alongside of that. I didn't remember getting there, but I was squatting down behind a small tree when I became aware of where I was. And as soon as they were aware that I was there, they suddenly become really alert and seemed to move real quiet behind some low-hanging limbs on a tree there. And I never get to see them after that. I tried to follow tracks in the direction I thought they would have to go, but I couldn't find any, even though there was heavy frost and stuff there. But the next day I found two tracks, a heel print, and the front part of the foot, the toes, but they were in a different direction from which I had come. And I never did get to connect them up with exactly which direction they had gone or know anything about them.
How big was the footprint?
The footprint, I would say, was 12 or 15 inches. But there wasn't enough to tell exactly.
And how wide would they be?
Possibly 5 inches. That's the widest part. 5 inches. I don't think it could be 6.
You got no way of knowing which individual left the footprint?
No, I didn't even know if it was one of them that was there that I had seen.
Were there toe prints?
So the toe prints as it came up out of the old landing, I saw heel prints as it went in. The heel print gave me the impression that the heel protruded.
Was this in the dirt?
Yes. Just as if you had a level piece and scoop out for maybe, 2 feet deep, and it would cave in some, and it had stepped down into that and left the heel print. And as it stepped out on the other side, you could see the toe print.
Mm-hmm.
And that was at the time I had left the cat skinner, it was, he was on Low Creek. But by then I had walked to Jim's Meadows, possibly a mile or more. And I saw the footprints between where the cat skinner was and where I had seen the other animals.
What did you do after these animals disappeared?
Well, I took off. I watched and looked a few minutes and then decided I didn't want to go in that direction. I just headed back.
Did you tell the cat skinner if you seen anything?
No, I didn't. I waited and I didn't tell anyone about it except Jerry until Millie asked me to ask with my crew, said maybe some of them had seen him. That's the only time I ever mentioned to any of the fellows out there. Well, because I didn't want everyone thinking I was a nut of some kind or other. And, well, they definitely would. But you just don't see them, you go out there, you don't know anything about them, then you walk up on them, and you think there's only one solution, and that you're crazy.
Did you see their faces at all?
The impression I got when they looked at me, the only time I saw their face was when they became alert. They gave me the impression of having a face a little like a cat without the ears. I couldn't remember seeing the ears, but it seemed like the nose was much flatter. It didn't stick out like a human's. And I couldn't remember except that the lower lip was very short and seemed to be thin. And the No, the upper lip is short and seems to be thin. The lower whole chin, I couldn't even remember a chin on it as a human has. I couldn't remember that at all. So somehow or other, I felt like it was a face more like a cat than like a human.
Were there any real differences between the appearance of the male and the female?
The male was a darker, dirty brown, where the female was a buckskin or fawn-colored. And the male had much longer hair on the shoulders and head and neck. And it was the female's hair was short, not very long. The male was longer and hung in kind of a string like you see around on an Angora goat. It was a darker, dirty brown. He was much heavier in the shoulders than the female.
Did they taper to the hips?
The male has, from just above the hips, he gets larger. And they have a very wide, what we would call a small of our back. And from there on up, it just gets bigger and bigger, a heavier affair. They are very rounded or stoop-shouldered affair, and the head seems to come more or less out of the, no. Maybe it's just brought by the fact that they have round shoulders. Gives the impression of being down.
You mean that the head is set lower?
Head is set lower in the shoulders than the human. They don't seem to have the neck stand up as we do. Their head doesn't seem to set on a neck as we do. I guess that would be the way of it.
It sits right in the shoulder.
Yes, or seem to.
Were they on 2 feet all the time?
When I was watching them, they were squatting down and having to lean forward and pick up the rock that they were smelling of.